All right, let's open the meeting with pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we've got like 3 guests attending the meeting tonight. We got Jared Rosemond, the fire chief. We got Dennis at 6:30, Dennis Hartman and Alan
Saakyan.
What's that?
Saakyan.
Saakyan.
Okay.
And then at 6:30 we got Alan Saakyan. You guys just want, let's start with the minutes from last month. Has anybody got any questions on the minutes from last month?
And the only thing Vinny said about that 2 phone, he talked with them about the sidewalk deal.
Yeah, they were gonna handle it.
Yep, so. I'll make a motion to approve, February's minutes.
I'll second.
All those opposed? All those in favor? Motion carried. The building permit, we got, Parker, is it Schumacher?
Yes.
124 South Water Avenue. He's asking to build a new garage and he gave us some specs.
And did you see my email that he had called yesterday?
Yep.
And
You wanted to start on it as soon as possible?
yeah, he couldn't be here tonight, but he said we could even call him. If we had any questions, we could call him from our meeting. So, yeah, yesterday when he called, he changed the siding from vinyl to cement board, and he also said that that existing small red shed in the back will be moved out, removed from the property.
I'll make a motion to approve this garage.
I'll second.
All those opposed? All in favor?
Aye.
Someone's looking at me. Motion carried. Number 2 on the items to discuss, act on a list of the city and EDA fire department bills.
I had a list with 3 more on there. Is that what you did for you?
I just seen where it said jet the main line, made me think of something. Does the city do anything with, helping people put the camera down their sewer line to check for roots and things like that?
Not in their private line.
Okay.
We don't.
Okay.
Only in our main lines.
Unless they sell the house. Right?
Well, the
Unless-
inspection, like if they put their house up for sale, it needs to be inspected. the city pays for that inspection,
Okay,
but if it needs any repairs, we don't
right.
pay for that.
I'll make a motion to approve all city's EDA and fire department bills.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We got the maintenance report. You just left us.
Well, when we get down to that
Yeah.
Stacy's driveway and alley issue, I got something that,
Okay. So if we want to go down to 9.
other than that, I don't.
Otherwise, there's nothing there. Treasurer's report.
The bank balance as of today, $70,109.37. And there are no CDs that mature this month.
Can I get that one more time?
I'm sorry, what?
Can I get that one more time?
Yep, $70,109.37. Otherwise, I don't have anything else. I guess just a couple notes that are on the agenda that there's no CDs due at this time. The next general fund CD matures on May 21st, and the next EDA CD matures on April 24th. And then we received an Alliance Cable TV franchise fee, which we receive every year. And each year that gets to be less and less. This year it was $370 less than last year's franchise fee. But more and more customers, residents are going to other TV services and dropping Alliance Cable. So that's a big part of it.
Item number 5, take action and adopt a resolution for Sunday liquor license inquiry. November's general election ballot. If such passes, we'll need to set a liquor license fee and, you know, what it is. And she's got some notes of what other cities do.
Yeah, I do, but we don't have to adopt that fee as of right now.
No,
It's pretty much.
This is something to think about.
Yes, because if it doesn't pass, then we don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But I put that sheet together. The city of Jasper is going through the same thing right now. They're gonna have an inquiry on the November ballot. Otherwise, I think I've given you a list of the fees a month or two ago as well.
Yep.
It would certainly pass, wouldn't
Well,
It's one of those things where it's.
Well, we got to vote on it.
Yep.
it? Yeah.
Is that something you
I
want
would like
to
to
take
hear.
action on now, or wait 2 days?
Well, that's one of the things that me and county engineer were discussing, you know, does he want just off sale, does he want, you know, where he just sells inside, outside?
Off sale, on sale,
On sale.
bulk, or just one or the other?
my guess is he's gonna want both, but I suppose we could wait until, to hear from him, so.
On my draft, on the resolution that I had drafted, I have both on there. Like I say, it's just a draft.
So we'll kind of just move on from that one, we'll wait to hear what he says. I have not talked to Brody's about any of that, so. Okay, number 6 is the cleaning of the Legion, the rental, the deposit. I believe we all got pictures on it and stuff like that. There was some stuff that was brought to me by the Legion that cleans it for us. And they had quite a few pictures and stuff over there. I went over there and looked at it. They wanted us to discuss because it was a mess, so.
Yeah, it looked like it to me.
So they wanted us to discuss, about, do we hold their deposit back?
Yeah.
I think I would be in favor of that, just because of, like you said.
Hours cleaning.
He did not get some stains off the carpet, which, we all understand there is gonna be some stains there, but he didn't get some off. It was just more of the smearing on the walls and stuff like that.
Right.
Is what he had trouble with. He did get it off, but then now there's a spot in the wall. So he did get it off though, but he didn't get off some of the spots in the carpet, which, accidents do happen, but when it's everywhere.
Right.
So,
With zero attempt to try to clean it up.
yeah,
That's where I'm at with that one.
like I
I
told
mean,
him.
there was, didn't look like there was any attempt to
No.
make it right or care about it or anything.
Did they
so.
notify anyone, or they didn't even?
No, Bud DeBoer, he checks it every Monday. Every Monday he goes in there and he checks it. And then especially afterwards, and then he just came over to my work and said, I would like you to look at this. And I said, take pictures, send it to Connie, and she'll send it out to everybody else. So, it was a lot of work, is what he said, so, I mean,
And he's already doing a lot of work, so.
yeah, they've done a fabulous job so far, so, no complaints there. They just wanted us to discuss that.
Yeah. I guess I would be in favor of not refunding the deposit.
Me too.
And all of it or a portion of it
Yeah,
or what?
all of it.
Okay.
Set the tone.
Okay, I'm in total agreement in that, so.
Yeah. I mean, we finally started putting some time and care and effort into it. And
Yeah. I agree with you.
Third time's not free either.
And that's, yeah.
Do I have to make a motion on that, I assume?
Yes.
Well, I'll make a motion on Legion cleaning deposit. We will keep the $300.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Okay, number 7 is the daycare. It's the cement pad, the shelter for shade, sandbox for the daycare. They inquired about it last year. Numerous donations from the LACF grant was received to help pay for expenses for the daycare, including a third donation from New Vision is forthcoming in 2026. New Vision donation will be received once per year over the 5-year period. They began it in 2024. I know we talked about that a lot. We're getting to that time of the year, so. The shade thing, I know we talked about just the stuff over the top.
I have a cool thing that I took pictures of, but
Sure.
it would have to be something we could attach it to the building and then out on the edge. It's super cool. I have no idea the cost on it, but, let me find it here. Oh, the trees?
You know, like in that,
Oh.
like we're outside, you know,
Yeah. Let me see.
black maps.
Oh, okay, so here is a picture of, they attached these to a building and then, and they're like,
Council,
yeah,
Florida, so.
yeah.
This book, I got a playground
Mhm.
magazine, and
So
then
there's
this
like
one with it. There's a lot of
things.
ideas in here that
Yeah, 'cause
you wouldn't have to
And-
purchase from there, but
Yeah, yep.
ideas
And
for
there's-
people to build.
And really, they're just connected with like a, what are those?
Carabiner?
Yeah, carabiner things. And so you could take one down if you wanted to and put it up.
And that's what we were talking about for last year too, because,
Yeah.
you know, in the winter time, you don't wanna be.
Yeah, you just put like a, one of the, like a thing in, like to hook a carabiner to it, like on the, to a stud or so, and then do it out farther. I mean, these are huge.
So that's kind of what we were thinking, but
Mhm.
we have to put cement poles in the ground to hook
Yes.
them to and stuff.
They did have cement poles out here on the edge.
where they had
Yeah.
clips.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what we were looking at. I think the one, we priced one that size was like almost 600 some bucks. It wasn't terrible for,
that's how they were connected.
yep, with an eye look, yeah.
Yeah. And then we can take them down in the fall too, so they don't.
The clips.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be a really good idea. Like, weren't we having trouble with trying to find somebody doing it, like, in Minnesota? We couldn't,
He was having
How was
problems because he was getting some certain things from like across the state line.
they wouldn't
And
cross state lines.
They wouldn't come across state lines. Or, I can't remember if it was from South Dakota.
It was from Sioux
So,
Falls.
it was
but I
from Sioux
don't know which
Falls and
company
their,
it was.
their company didn't come across the state lines.
But
So it's
there's-
kind of a company
Oh.
thing.
It's crazy.
There's like a whole bunch of options to think about. We thought about just putting one over top. Like something, something like these, just putting this over top of it.
That was my goal.
Oh, just like a permanent fixture?
Yeah. There's other things like that too. Kind of threw it out there. I did make contact with the YG, I can't think of his first name.
Chris.
And asked if the school would be interested in it, because they're always looking to do something in
Mhm.
industrial arts. I did make contact with him a little bit, and he said he would get back to me, but he hasn't got back to me. I'm okay with the shade thing too, I like that, because you can take it down.
True. But I don't know, well, but we wouldn't even have it, like even a day like today, we wouldn't have that up.
No, it'd be like when we open up our bathrooms and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
Yeah,
summer.
it'd be like May.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
beginning of May or
Right.
something.
When the heat really starts
And-
climbing.
And I would think that you could get, you wouldn't just get one, you'd get like 3 of them, or, I mean, and, yeah, they kind of fell at different spots, yeah.
Yeah, there's probably a million different ways you can
Those
set
are,
them up if you want.
Yeah,
those are kind of what we were talking about last year,
Yep.
with the clips.
they
And
almost looked like they were a nylon material, not really fabric, they were more of a like stretchy nylon material.
Because Dan Fix got one between his house and
Yes.
their garage.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same, I have a company name off of that, that's what we were
Yeah.
mentioning off of last
Yeah.
year.
How easy are they to put up?
I wouldn't think that's too difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But the donations from New Vision are $5,000 each year for 5 years.
Right.
So something nice would be,
Mm-hmm.
it'd be nice to have something.
I was saying that too, with the sandbox too,
Well, if you had a great big roof over top of the whole deal, it would keep the rain out of it too.
Yes.
yeah.
So as far as, kids going out there when it's raining, they can still go out there.
Should do a sandbox like down at the softball field.
That's what I was thinking too.
Okay, yeah. That's a good one.
That's got a cover over it.
That's something maybe the school would be really interested in, that'd be something simple. or
Something to throw out there, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Just so it has a shade.
Yeah, I think if we build something real big, we're gonna want some,
The only thing
well, yeah.
with a
it's something-
sandbox
But,
like
yeah.
that, they're gonna have to cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
'cause
that's
this
turning
one's-
into
And, like,
Do you think with the fence, well, I suppose.
they'll jump it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe I've seen, just from
Or they
walking
could have
down,
like a-
walking down here, I've seen the daycare. out there
In the
quite a
one
bit already,
Rats.
so.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like, don't they have like a fence around the one by the ball diamond? On like
Oh, a
three
little
sides?
bit,
And
yeah.
then make maybe like a gate with like something where
Oh,
maybe a cat couldn't be in
Yeah.
there.
right, yeah,
So then you wouldn't have to try to cover it or uncover it, you can just
Right.
open the gate.
yes,
If it was
Like
mostly
a-
kind of enclosed or the fence was high enough where a
yeah.
critter wouldn't get up in
Yeah.
there.
That's what I do.
I mean, there's tons of ideas.
Usually you just do like 6-foot high chain link all the way around it with a roof on it.
Mhm.
There are a lot of options.
There is, there's a lot to. When does that arrive?
The funds from New Vision,
Yeah,
usually the month of March or early April.
March or early April.
And in our LACF grant money, do we have to use that by a certain time period?
Well, that helped. A lot of that, the funding helped the
Pay for
fencing,
that,
pay
yes.
for that fencing that went around the whole.
Right, okay, but there's money for like the cover, that's not, we're not getting any more from LACF right now,
No.
okay, yeah.
I mean,
I think we should get some prices on building some of them objects. I mean, even,
just multiple prices,
yeah, just,
two different things, like her, Vicky's idea. I mean, we're all okay with whatever.
Mhm.
I'm just saying then, you know, with that, you got your wood, you get your shingles again. So you're gonna have to re-shingle in a while. You got your.
I was hoping not to shingle it.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that, the wear and tear, you know, if you gotta just change your cross canopy every
Yeah.
5 to 10 years, would be better off than, I think, a solid building, but,
Did we,
you know, a lot of them.
Once upon a time-
Softball fields have
when I
them
was-
overhangs too.
when that was being built, they talked about a cement pad, right?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. And then they were talking about a little shelter area, correct? If I remember right, if that was.
a shelter area.
Like just a little,
shade.
yeah, just like where you could put a picnic table underneath it and they can sit out there and they could have, where, was that? I thought I remember hearing that.
I think that was part of, like, they could put a picnic table out there if it was covered
Ah,
at
gotcha.
some point.
Mhm.
Not to do a specific one to cover that spot,
Okay,
but,
okay.
yeah. The thought would be like, yes, you could put a picnic table out there and they could sit out there if it was covered so the sun wasn't beating down
Okay,
on them
that's it.
so much.
Okay. Okay, we could look into both things, and then we can make a decision on that. And, I'll talk to some contractors and stuff about that stuff. And do you know? Did you talk to anybody, Joey, about the shade last time? Did you talk to anybody?
I just was talking to the disties,
Disney's.
because they put quite a few of them up.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I have one more thing for the daycare. This was after the agenda, all of them. Cassie Van Hoff, who has unit number 2. She's gonna be closing her daycare. Because she's moving to Edgerton. She, you know, I mean, she hasn't been married that long and they just had a baby.
Okay.
So, and they found a house in Edgerton, which that's what they were gonna do, was purchase a home there, that was their plan. So,
When is-
that will be available, unit number 2 will be available.
Is there a certain time frame, Lisa?
And her final day is September 4,
Okay.
but she would like a little bit of time after that. to remove things out of there, out of the room.
September, so she's gonna stay till September.
What?
She's gonna stay till September.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
gonna stay until September.
Well, she gave us plenty of.
And,
Yeah.
oh yeah, she gave us plenty of notice, which I
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
Mhm.
I think she was opening back up in April, Hancock, I was saying,
So,
first part of April, 'cause she
Oh,
was,
from the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
and they do, I know, a couple of the kids are gonna be going to the third unit,
Maddie Boss.
yes. Yes. So,
Did you
So-
say, was there a certain time frame for release on those?
I don't think there's, I think it's, they don't have to, they
No.
can say we're done, right? Yeah.
okay.
So we probably wouldn't say, like if we found somebody, we would say maybe October, that they couldn't start up till October.
Yeah, that should give her plenty of time to remove her items from.
Mhm. And then do you think that, well, we can talk about this later, but like we had go in and do a full cleaning of it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I was,
That's, yeah, yeah,
so I'm guessing a touch of paint and,
right,
you know,
yeah.
And we do have a deposit on that, so if everything is fine, you know, she would get that back.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know, like Maddie and the other gal, are they full or do they still have openings?
I don't think Maddie's completely full. And because I know she had asked me about putting some posters up, if she could put one in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave her ideas as to where else she could post. And she's also put her name in that there's a Daycare Association in Laverne, and she put it on there. And then also the person that licensed these gals, they too help find it. They put the information out there for people that need daycare. So,
Was everybody okay with finding prices on
so,
that daycare?
yeah. I'll manage some cement pad areas and I'll figure some of that stuff out too.
Okay. Number 8, adopt a resolution appointing Jessica Woolman, Clayton Martins, Lois DeHaan as election judges for 2026 primary and general elections.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution to appoint Jessica Bowman, Colleen Martins, and Lois DeHaan as judges for 2026 primary and general election.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Carried.
The ladies, and then one to do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same ones.
We're waiting.
Look at this ticks. He's good.
yeah.
He's buffing Eric too, he must have ran.
I did, I looked up from my desk and went, oh, it's 6 o'clock, I gotta go.
All right, Jared, you're up.
So, yeah, I think Connie gave you, should be a copy of a quote. I gotta replace a couple of air bottles.
I think I didn't give it a copy, I just,
They sent us,
I put it on the agenda, I listed it on the agenda.
Okay. But the air bottles, they're for our rapid intervention team packs.
Pass it around.
There's only 2 of them, thankfully. But the bottles do have a shelf life to them of 15 years. And they've hit that shelf life. I was gonna do it last fall, but then the furnace thing came up, so I thought, I'm gonna wait until we flip the calendar over on another budget, so. But it's not necessarily a line item in our budget, but we'll be able to fit it in the budget, so it won't be anything extra above and beyond or anything, so. And they have to be tested every 5 years, so we're due for having all of our air pack bottles tested here this spring, so they'll be able to swap the valve off of the old bottle and put them on the new bottles and stuff, and then we can put them in service, so.
Any questions for Jerry? He ran all the way here.
So, yeah.
He needs that rapid
That was the
air.
only, yeah. That was the only thing I had, unless you've got any other questions for me about anything, or?
I don't think so.
All right,
Alright.
simple enough.
Thanks for coming, Rick.
Yep, thank you.
Do we need to act on that, Con?
I'm sorry.
We need to act on
Yes,
it.
please.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2 SBCA cylinders for the fire department.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Carried. We can move down to item number 9. Stacy and Donna Burgers will be removing their cement driveway and installing crushed concrete. At a later date, they will submit a building permit for pouring new cement for a driveway. Stacy will obtain a price for the crushed concrete for the whole alley from the city, if we're interested in such doing so. The quote is below. The alley is used for the fire department where they fill up with water. Within a block, 4 inches of crushed concrete would top off at $6,000. That includes trucking, grading, and compaction. Connie got some things from Vinnie.
I did. I talked to him this morning about that. And I did drive through that alley yesterday. The only bad spots is that north end on the approach. When you walk. And then when I talked to Dustin this morning, I asked him about the price, and I showed him that it included the trucking, the grading, and compacting. He thought too, 6,000 was an awful lot. When he's gotten crushed concrete in the past, he just calls W&N, they come dump it, and Dustin uses the box scraper to level it and pack it. And then he said with rain and everything being, it usually
Yeah.
packs pretty well,
Yeah.
pretty quick.
Yeah, Crush Concrete does a good job of that.
So it is expensive.
I would say if he thinks that we need to do that with that alley, let him handle that one.
I think we should get a quote ourselves and see how much it's going to be.
I mean, if any alley needs it, the one behind the Legion, that's
Mhm.
bad. There's a lot of potholes in there, in that alley. And there was a couple other alleys behind some homes that he said he has to get some gravel and put in there this summer. But I'll let Dustin bring that up.
I agree with Dustin here, whether that, he knows the best.
Yeah.
And if he says that's too high,
Yeah.
That's what he
I
said.
mean, we got the tools to do it, so, I mean,
What did it cost when, didn't we do the whole city?
that's
They did my alley, I know that.
They
A
did
while
your
back.
alley a while back?
Yeah. What it cost then?
I don't know, I'd have to look it up.
Mine's still in good shape, I think.
So I guess, I mean, the only thing you have
I'll
to
just,
act on is Station's.
I'll make a motion for Stason to remove his cement driveway, install crushed concrete until a later date to submit a building permit to pour concrete for his new driveway.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Carried. I think everybody sees the thing at the bottom, the board and appeal, I never said that word right, equalization meeting is scheduled the same night as the city meeting on Tuesday, May 12th. So, I'm sorry, I did skip that. So I just got pointed out to me, back to 6, there's a B there, and it says Legion office rent. We need to establish that. Okay, so I did some looking, and the Legion office rent, the post office pays, I believe, $8.25.
Yes.
$8.25, and what it's set at right now is 5. So, and there's way more square footage there than our United States Postal Service. So,
How long is the lease on the post office?
Oh, it's just ongoing until the notice is given, either way to
and I believe the last time that the rent was like it was a long time
oh,
ago.
it's been a long time ago.
It's been a long time for the
I
rent.
would say they're probably both due to be upped a little bit, I would think.
If we raise the post office rent, do you think they'd close?
I'm fine with them being
I
equal.
don't think,
Yeah,
I would
Equal
push
then.
them.
right. What is the Legion office rent right now? I think you had sent that out.
The Legion, you mean the club room?
Yeah,
That's
No.
150.
No.
Um,
The office.
this,
The office,
yeah.
500.
I think you had sent that as,
Yeah, I believe you did, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And if I remember correctly, last time it was raised,
January of 2021.
do I have that in there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, it's been 5 years. I say we up it also. If the post office is paying $8.25,
I'm fine with it being equal.
So they'd both be $8.25 here?
Yes.
We'd be making more if we lowered the post office and 800 or 750 each.
I think the post office pays whatever you ask them to pay.
I mean, probably the previous time that it was raised, I mean, it's probably 10 years before that. From previous to 2021, it was probably one of ours, and it probably was like that for years. So, utilities have all gone up, everything goes up. To rent another space, like, to rent another space, you're not gonna find it.
Double at least.
Does anybody know what it costs just for like, just throwing it out there, just a storage unit?
150,
But
No utilities.
no utilities, yes, or power.
or any
True.
other stripping. Insulation. I would be okay to make them equal.
Well, just to rent the, just rent, your deposit's $300.
I thought I had it for Ross, how much it was.
Oh. I just think it's time, I mean, it's been a long time.
I'll make a motion to increase the Legion office rent to $8.25, to have it the same, and keep the post office rent the same. But the post office isn't up for renewal.
It's what?
The post office isn't up for renewal anyway.
No.
Oh,
it's-
okay.
But, yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
You'd ask.
Alan? Would you like to start with yours?
Want to go now? Field
Yeah.
that now?
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll start with yours and then when Dennis shows up.
okay. Okay. All right, so thanks everyone for having me on the agenda today. Appreciate it. Some of you may know I was elected by the Chamber of Commerce to serve as liaison to the City Council. I've been doing my best the last couple of weeks to create harmony, transparency, and modernization for the economic development of Hills. And I'm truly very grateful to finally see my city code on my city's website. I'm sure that's coming up later on the agenda. Yeah, okay. Nice. And it's great to have citizens and business owners have 24/7 access and searchability of their bylaws and ordinances. I think this will increase transparency and open up what was previously time-constrained access to information, and also decrease the need for city administrative work. Thanks so much for getting us to this first milestone of many. I, of course, would love to see the design of the website also modernize from the mid-2000s to the 2020s, which I can help serve with given what I'm on the agenda for tonight. So as you know, I'm on today's agenda to talk about the digital modern government and offer my IT skills pro bono for servicing our city into the next era. And everything I'm speaking about today is me offering to help modernize my city government to make it more attractive to future residents and business owners. This most recent city code being published on the website is a great start. It does not yet have old ordinances nor the book of resolutions. And we don't have our city budget up there yet over the years, nor our city finances, which can only currently be accessed through the Minnesota State Auditor's website. And we only have our January 2026 meeting minutes posted there and back through only July 2024 available through the city's Facebook page. We also don't yet have our accounts payable or check register data available online to transparently see where our city spending is going. These are all hallmarks of a modern digital government. For example, after analyzing our city budget and financial report data from the Minnesota State Auditor website over the last couple of years, I learned that our city is financially generally healthy, which is extremely exciting. And it was intriguing to see our overall city budget increase from $443,000 to $543,000 from 2022 to 2025. It increased by $100,000 over just 4 years. So general government consisted of a $42,000 increase, public safety consisted of a $36,000 increase, and there were 4 large capital outlays from 2021 to 2023. $324K in general government in 2023, $309K in fire in 2022, $238K in street and highway in 2021, and $115K in fire in 2021. And these appear to coincide with years when the city received significant federal and state grant funding. Large capital expenditures often reflect infrastructure improvements or equipment purchases, which is great for city stability and growth. As a citizen, I'd love to understand what projects these represented and how they were funded. Also understand what our city chose to allocate its $100K budget increase to over those 4 years. Obviously, as the meeting minute and check register data becomes transparent, these types of questions a citizen may have about their government, they will be able to answer themselves, which is an exciting future ahead. So today I'm recording and publishing the City Council government meeting to the City of Hills YouTube channel that the city owns, so we can begin building a public archive of city meetings. It's another great sign of growth and transparency of a city government is their ability to keep a video archive recording of meetings and searchable transcripts. So I'd love to see an amendment to the city code that could sound something like, the city shall maintain an online public archive containing city code, so it's bylaws and ordinances, meeting minutes, budgets, financial reports, annual audits, check register, unedited or live streamed video recordings of meetings, an archive of recordings online, and searchable transcripts. Also, in many places in our city code, it specifies paper or mail-based language. I would like to help us update it to physical or electronic record and website publication or email notification to modernize. I'd also like to assist in our city's modernization process of having an online payment system for utilities and permits to further reduce administrative workload. I foresee us saving the city tens of thousands of dollars in administrative costs. Publishing all our city data online will enable 24/7 access, eliminating the need for city office staff to fulfill those requests and removing any constraints on access to public city data. Enabling online payments for utility bills will further reduce the need for in-office administrative work. And augmenting the city council secretary role with AI note-taking software will increase accuracy and save money, will generate a live transcript of today's meeting and distill a draft of meeting minutes for review. We can funnel these annual savings into the economic development line item, which has historically received minimal funding to actualize the visionary projects and drive economic returns to the city. For example, the Main Street Beautification Project, consisting of easy to move and store planter boxes for flowers and benches for sitting. Also some beautiful new signage on Highway 270 and Main Street, similar to the one by Hardwick, that promotes the many businesses we have on Main Street that people may not know of. And we can promote local utilities like Sioux Valley Energy and Alliance Communications on the signage to help us with fundraising for it. Helping declutter Main Street from vacancies and storage and promote new business growth. Forging new win-win-win agreements with local landowners and developers to build new houses and businesses, and addressing what we need in our utility system to grow that into the future. Moving the memorial on Main Street to Highway 270 by the old school to make it more visible and attractive for passerbys to stop by and see our city, which would also help SNS Locker with their development goals on the memorial's old land. Help promote and grow the business center Chris Gagnon is building on Main Street, and every other business developer's goals in the area to support them. This is also what the Chamber of Commerce is so passionate about, creating this harmony and growth. And to address the success of all this, we as a city may need council work sessions to deliberate on items before voting at the city council meetings. Many small towns are beginning to adopt these work sessions to address making progress on their lists of projects they are actualizing, if needed. Also, about 20% of small towns across the USA have shifted to a 5 council member system where the mayor is not the tiebreaker, but the council themselves are the final deliberators on voting on issues and tie-breaking as needed. Amending our city code for a 5th council seat and hosting video recorded work sessions as needed between city council meetings could prove to be very helpful for the growth and achieving all of these visionary goals. So in summary, through digital modern government, we can enable 24/7 access to public city data, increase transparency, save money on administrative work, and drive more residential and business growth to our city. Again, I'm offering my IT services and skills pro bono to the city government, to the City of Hills for this digital modern government streamlining. I would love for the City Council to vote on and approve my role of pro bono IT help to the City of Hills. And I now open the City Council for questions or any discussion they may have. And thank you so much for your time, everyone.
Has anybody got any questions for him?
You okay with having somebody up there?
One of my questions would be is what research have you done on other communities our size? Like what numbers have you pulled from other communities on, like how is it gonna be a cost savings, significant cost savings, and how did their residents, what are their residents, it really comes down to our residents. That's what we're here for. Do they want to have somebody in person that they can go to and ask the questions, or are they all about just reading it online? So what research have you done?
Yeah, I was I called the League of Minnesota Cities because I wanted to know if Hills was even a part of it, and I learned that Hills is a part of it, which is great. Yeah, and then they also led me to American Legal Publishing, which is being used by thousands of cities across the U.S. for hosting their city code online. And the League of Minnesota Cities, I asked them, I said, hey, I know that one of the main questions that I'm going to get asked is how many cities in Minnesota are there that are less than 1,000 people that are using AmLegal, American Legal for City Code Publishing, or that have these types of IT projects for streamlining things. And the League of Minnesota Cities they were very, and so was AmLegal, they were very much like, you would be surprised at how many small towns are actually streamlining their IT services. And they sent me a town of 200 people in Minnesota that has all their ordinances and all their city codes posted on their website. It was 200-person town. So I was like, okay, this is a perfect example. Thank you for sending this along to me. And it's not necessarily a complete. We're not yet at the point with automation to be removing humans out of the loop. We're seeing that in every single industry. We're still keeping humans in the loop for the most part, but humans are becoming augmented by automation, and it's quite nice because there is a significant cost savings that's been reported across states, especially small town governments. And then it also increases transparency at the same time because instead of being bottlenecked by office hours basically to get government data, now anybody, if they're hanging out with their friend at 8 o'clock and they don't know a certain ordinance or they don't want to know a certain budget line item from 2025 or whatever, they can very easily just click on the city website information. And I'm willing to donate my time and love and care to be in harmony and union with what your visionary goals are also for development of the city.
Can you give us a background of, I mean, I don't really know who you are. Where did you come from? What size of community you came from? What was your involvement in city offices or so before? Yeah.
I was born and raised in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I mentioned that maybe 2 council meetings ago or something like that.
How did you hear, or when did you hear about Hills, Minnesota? How do you know about Hills, Minnesota?
Yeah. I think I was very blessed to have found Hills. Actually, one of my dearest friends, Greg Harner, his father's Jim, or his grandfather's Jim Harner, who was the principal at Laverne's high school, and I spent a lot of time growing up in this area too because of my family roots and because of his family. We were best friends growing up, and we would drive through Hills, and he would point out like, "Hey, this is Hills, and this is," he would always take the back roads from the Laverne and Adrian type area over there through this area and into Sioux Falls. And it was really sweet, actually, driving around Rock County and connecting more with the small towns in Rock County. I did spend like around 13 years or so, I think. So around 10 of those were in California, and then 3 of them were traveling internationally. And I've spent a lot of that time interviewing different scientists and entrepreneurs and spiritual teachers, and just learning a lot from a lot of diverse different disciplines and bringing all that knowledge together. And so I haven't worked inside of a city council before. I have not, but I have worked with city councils before in terms of supplying them with technology that they need or software that they need, or being an advisor to people who are either already partly familiar with modernization processes. But this would be my first time sort of being in a direct role with augmenting the city's systems. And I'd be honored to again work together to collaborate on that, harmonize on what that could look like.
What do you love about the community?
One thing that I really love about it is I love walking out my door and seeing the rolling cornfields. I think that's magical. I love looking up at the sky at night and seeing the Milky Way, because you just don't get that in larger cities, you know. I love how there's not a single traffic light.
All right. It's true.
You know, so far I've been blessed to meet a lot of grounded people here.
Okay.
Very grounded people in Hills and even in Rock County, just people that I think are that are very like homey or homesteady, and that's a really nice feeling. It's a lot less kind of hustle and bustle and climbing on top of shoulders type.
It's more relaxed.
More relaxed, and I fit that as a puzzle piece.
Can I ask you one question though? You were talking about the vacant buildings on Main Street.
Yeah.
What would be your plan for that? Or you don't have?
Oh, I know I love that you asked, but
Yeah.
I'm much more of I would love to collaborate, because you guys have lived here. Many of you have lived here a very long time, and many of you have served on the council for a very long time, and you know your city, and you know your ordinances, and you know your the business owners that exist in those vacant buildings or who owns those vacant buildings and stuff. So y'all know a lot of that, and I just want to help be a catalyzing force for us to let's move forward in making Main Street beautiful. And yeah. So I definitely defer a tremendous amount to the vast pool of knowledge that y'all already have on this type of stuff. But also I do have excitement for let's get someone else in the vacancies, because the vacancies they definitely they kind of slope pull things down, and
Sure.
yeah. Right.
Yep.
And I don't know if this is something that you guys need to discuss without me, and then
we're not. I've learned from just being mayor for a while that we're not just gonna shoot by the hip. We're gonna think it up. We'll be in touch with you. I appreciate it, Alan.
yeah. Is there other thoughts from the other 3 council members?
I don't know, I'm pretty open, I guess. It's kind of funny how you say, laid back style, homesteader type people, quiet people, and then you want to take us into the 25th century. It's kind of a roller coaster of thoughts all in one short conversation, but I think definitely, making a step forward would be good. I think we're making effort at that right now, so.
Joey?
That's my thought.
Okay.
Dennis?
Hartman.
What about Dennis Posey? I was just
Oh,
wondering
Dennis
if
Posey.
you-
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
there's 2 Dennises right
Yeah.
next to each other. Sorry.
I was,
I just, since our meeting a week or 2 ago, I've just become friends with you. And he was over last night for a poker game. And I think he's a pretty genuine person and wants to help out. And between, the commerce and us, I hope we can get something going,
Yeah.
yeah.
see both sides of, of the coin, and maybe get a coffee shop or a cheese shop.
I explained to him yesterday. It's totally fine. I love the idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think
I would like to say that it's not, we are the spokesperson for the community, for the people. And so we need to think about, and it needs to go in, the citizens are the ones that tell us what they want. Yes, and I know you're a citizen, but you're one. And so, we need to make sure, what we do, that everybody, that the citizens know. So for us, thank you for coming tonight, but I also feel like we need to sit and really talk with other citizens in the community and say, well, okay, what do you want? What do they want? Because we are here for the people.
Absolutely. I understand, and that was, you mentioned that a little bit ago, and I thought that was a very important point. And I've actually mentioned that in our conversations before, just that I do represent a lot of modernization energy, while I'm also, homestead and love in it at the same time. but that I may represent a little too much modernization energy for some of the residents of Hills, which is also very much a possibility. And I'm very open to that being the case. But I've also explicitly heard from many residents themselves that they really, and a lot of young residents and even some older ones, saying that I would love the types of things that you would like to help give your pro bono IT services to the city for. So yeah, definitely do that query of the public and discussion. And do you think you might have an idea of a timeline? Is this something that
I'm not gonna put a timeline on it. I mean, we're gonna discuss it with the residents, our citizens, and we'll get back to you.
okay? Yeah, just yeah, I hear you. Maybe should I just like open-ended can sometimes lead to inaction also. So I just want to be aware of that as well. That's all I'm suggesting. So I can.
I'm not gonna forget. It's
Okay.
online.
All right. Thanks. Thank you everyone for your time
Thanks, Alex.
and thanks for your service.
Are you ready for the other one too? Dennis?
Yep.
You ready, Dennis?
Be homework involved?
Cheat sheet then, because
I'm not gonna require too much time. Two things. The main thing is getting on the ballot to have the citizens of Hills vote on the Sunday liquor license. I represent myself, of course, with Green Rail, but Dion is also involved. He's another business. Now, I don't know what's involved with the license. Maybe he's not interested. It's something that's more for people that want to come in, watch a football game Sunday afternoon. People come in for a breakfast buffet, order a mimosa or a Bloody Mary. As I understand, it's a pretty antiquated, I don't even know if it's called, is it an ordinance? But it's been this way for a long time, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we've been over this, haven't we? A lot. It was like
We've
toward time last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure that we do it right. So I just put it together in writing so everyone has it. Pretty clear. Put it to the people's vote. Okay? I don't know, is there any other questions on that?
We have one question, because I believe Connie got it all set up.
Okay.
You know, the question is, you want carry out and
I noticed in this letter just says.
On sale.
okay,
But
doing on sale, off sale, both.
you want both?
Yeah, if it's not gonna break the bank. Yeah, I don't know what the cost is gonna be. If you guys set the cost, I'd just appreciate it if it was lenient, you know, since I'm a charity over here. For now. At some point, we'll make some money. Any questions for me on that?
That's the only one.
Pretty easy, cut and dry. The second thing is on cannabis. I think I've made myself clear as to I am a very open and honest person. I have always been clear on my objectives when it comes to the cannabis business and what my goals are. Since I have a restaurant in town, and since there are many areas in town that can be used by people with this legal product, I just want to make sure that I'm going about it the right way. Because have I and will I have people using cannabis on my patio? Absolutely. Will that continue and become more prevalent? Possibly. I see a small community 3 miles from the South Dakota border where it's not legal recreational, and I would love to capitalize on that. Get some people to come over here to the free world. So I just want to make sure that I don't think, you and I have talked about this, about it's legal, and there's nothing that can be done about that. There's no amount of law enforcement action that can be taken against for the legal use. So I just want to make sure that if a complaint comes in, we're not going to have all of a sudden the sheriff show up and not be able to do anything about it because it's a legal product. It's akin to cigarettes. That is what it has become. And I understand that people will have to be respectful in its use, for sure, just as they are with cigarettes. No one wants to smell somebody else's cigarette smoke.
Right. Your back patio's not gonna turn into an opium den.
No, I'm thinking not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll just be
Do you,
someone or, you know,
People
some group that might.
enjoying a legal product as well as they enjoy alcohol.
what other Minnesota community do you know that allows an establishment to do that on their like patio,
Smoke,
cannabis?
I'm not aware of
Or
it.
you don't know any?
No.
Okay, okay.
No.
That's something that we can research also and answer.
I'm
I'm
sure.
not either.
That's something we can research and answer also.
Sure, sure. But this is what I have, you know, the handout is what I
So
have.
you haven't done any research on like communities that, you know, you haven't done any research on
No,
it? Okay.
no.
Have you called the sheriff department or anything like that?
I haven't.
That'd probably be a good one to, you know,
I will contact
That'd be a
them.
good one.
I did intend to say, okay, you know, it's legal. People are gonna be using it legally. Is there anything that we need to do special?
it's probably like, I would contact the sheriff's department. And see what they
Yeah.
say. They'll give you a good definite answer.
Yep. No laws are being broken.
Well, yeah, no, but it's kind of like your front sidewalk, it's a public sidewalk. You know,
Right.
technically you're not supposed to smoke cigarettes out on a public sidewalk,
But they do.
but they do.
Yeah.
Now, yeah,
It's new to everyone. It's new.
okay.
So I am excited about that. I'm excited about the business and where it can be, where it can go to. I look at it as a great challenge, and I like a challenge. So I'm looking forward to it, but I just want to make sure everybody here knows that I'm an open book. If you want to ask me a question, I'm going to tell you the truth.
Do you have a plan to, not the edibles, but the drink? Do you have a plan to get a
We already have
license for
those.
that?
Yeah, we already have those.
Pardon me?
The giggly? Yeah,
Yeah, the THC.
that's common, but that's That's a CBD product, and I'm
That's
not
sold
so
in South
hot.
Dakota, isn't it?
Hmm?
That's sold in South Dakota.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so.
But it's a hemp-derived product,
Yeah.
and I'm not real hot on hemp-derived products because it's modified. I'm more natural.
But it still does give you the effect.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
I've been in concerts that sell it.
Yep.
The liquor store in Lawrence.
Correct, they've got all kinds of it over there, yeah. It's definitely something that's.
I guess I could see an establishment like yours as more of a drink, well, I guess.
Either one.
If you're outdoors,
Either one,
yeah.
we're not the law. And hey, it's not against the law.
Yeah, the existing cannabis ordinance in Hills, it does have a section, J3, which also allows for permitting. So if that was the route that the city wanted to take with the green rail, they could take that route, but then it of course could lead to more, legalities and all that kind of stuff. Versus, it seems to be this question around making it arbitrated. You would want to I'm not sure. Be that word in a way that was similar to the Minnesota state statutes around public use. That's the thought in question in place, if it could be like tobacco is. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Well, sir. Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
Getting back to this Sunday liquor, you want on and off sale, or just, I want to just clarify so I know for sure.
So what's wrong?
Yes,
Because I've already drafted a resolution,
okay.
but I just want to make sure.
Yes, we do, because we do have people that come in that want to buy
Okay,
to take it home. So, yeah, we sure do, on and off.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Dennis.
You bet.
Thanks, Alan. Alright. Let me clarify that so we can go back to that. Adopt a resolution for Sunday liquor license for on and off sale.
I'll make a motion to, put on the ballot, for a Sunday liquor license for on and off sale.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay,
This bottom line.
yeah,
That's something we need to attend.
Yeah, you'll be here.
You'll be here.
You'll be here for the
Oh,
meeting.
okay.
yeah.
That's that, you did that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody else have anything else they would like to discuss?
So the city of Hills is, so the Laverne Optimist Club has pull tabs at Roadies, and there was an ordinance put in a few years ago that that money has to come back for Hills youth. And so, a committee has met and we are giving money to the city of Hills. I'll give you a better dollar amount next month, a firm one, to do a new swing set at the park. So it has to be used for youth in Hills. So, the money is coming from the pull tabs, which are run by the Laverne Optimist Club.
What do we need down there? We need a swing set,
The
right?
swing set, you
Yeah.
got,
Make Vinny really happy.
Yeah, for sure.
yes. So, I think when Corey found those others, I did a little looking already, and I'd probably talk to Vinny and just see what he, because I think he kept a couple things from it, and I know there's been discussion on it, so,
I just, like I said, just, we're gonna stay away from wood products,
yes,
just
yes.
because of that reason.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's perfect.
We won't do anything in the next month anyway, so I'll give you the final dollar amount next month.
Perfect. I like it.
Yeah. I did talk with Chris Webb, and he's gonna help us try to apply for that grant for the res projects and stuff.
Oh.
So we're waiting on a couple quotes yet, but he has to have that in by, I think, the 28th of March submitted. So basically, it was just a couple of new electric boxes for the camper spots, the rest of the cement pads, and then redoing the parking lot, rocks around the edges, and then a new culvert. But that culvert was real small. Vinny wants to drive fire trucks and stuff back there, replacing that. Just cleaning up the creek and stuff. So we got some numbers from like Walker and for the cement and stuff. I think we're waiting on electrical. And then possibly a new shower house and septic system. But that's all
Future.
dependent on
Yeah.
stuff. So we're kind of waiting to hear what we hear maybe this week, and then so we can get Chris some numbers and see what he can get drawn up and sent in for that grant. So,
Sure.
I've been down there a few times too, and I was talking to Vinny too, a couple weeks ago too, and we're gonna have to do something. About the power boxes for two, but where that creek comes in, them beavers, all them little trees, they're just demolishing them, throwing them in the creek there. We're gonna have to come in there and dig them all out, or else we're gonna have flood to the north of us. It's just gonna be not good, so. Somebody's gonna come in there and dig that out anyways sometime here in the next year or so, or else we're gonna have problems, so.
Holidays, when you came in.
Oh.
You wanna talk about that, or?
Yeah, Howie just came in, and for what he talked about the last time, for the 250th, he talked to HBCS. They are gonna do it on July 11th, I believe. And they're gonna do it probably about, I think he said 7 or 7:30. They're gonna have a little service at the park. Hopefully the Statue of Liberty that he bought 20 years ago is up and ready to go. And I said that man will probably cry when that thing goes up. But he said that that they were gonna do like a gathering there. They're gonna have somebody speak
And an ice cream truck.
in an ice cream truck. And then I would assume the ice cream truck is probably just gonna go straight down to the res, I'm guessing. So, afterwards, he's very excited about it. He said there was something going on in Laverne too that day, but he wasn't too concerned about it. He's looking to draw people to town for the fireworks and stuff, so. It's Howie, he's got a nice plan all the time.
sounds good.
He's done work, so.
Did we ever hire that guy that killed beavers?
Yes, we
Got a
did.
couple.
Joe or Dusty, you wanna talk about that?
Okay.
I got two beavers so far. He was gonna wait till it melts off now, he can be able to go back down there. First beaver was 68 pounds, the second one was 58 pounds, so. Them are some
He
tank
figures
beavers,
they were
corporate.
the lead
I see
damage
there's
doers.
a little less pressure on some trees down there in the last week and a half, so hopefully the little ones kind of.
But you assume there's more down there?
He was thinking 8 more probably, 8 to 10 more, so.
Yeah, when there's a family, there's a family.
Yeah, I can't remember what the man's name is.
Yeah, he's right in here.
Oh, you got it.
His
Rattle.
name is
Yeah.
Rattle.
Was it?
Mike Rattle?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay,
Mike
yeah.
Rattle,
Yeah.
there you go. Yep.
And pretty much he only
That's what he does.
charges when he catches them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. And usually if
I
you
told
get the
him,
big
let him
ones,
have that.
sometimes the little ones skedaddle and sometimes they don't, but.
I know he put some down at Ted's too, Ted Larson's. So,
But I think we cleaned some of them little maple trees that are growing out of there and clean it up a little bit, I think, because we're giving them a perfect habitat right now. I mean, to gnaw them down, you know, just to clean it up through there, that'll help a lot too. And keep them out of there. They already did the whole west side, they knocked them all down already, so.
Is there any tree that they don't like?
They'll eat it.
One's wrapped in wire.
Yes.
Hot wire, yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis saying he can do this no matter what. Yeah. They can smoke back there. There's nothing we can do about it.
Haven't had enough reading on that.
We are waiting for some information from the state
Okay.
official. And another thing to think about is, we should check with law enforcement to see if our law enforcement contract will increase. And I could also check with our insurance agent to see if the city's insurance will increase.
like I said, we'll do our homework on it. And stuff like that.
Is it
Because I know
back there?
What's that?
And it already happened back there?
I'm not the law.
Yeah.
I police myself, that's about it.
Yeah.
And my children. So, that's about it. The other thing is that we've had a lot of people request to help out with, our city maintenance man not being out and stuff like that. And that's what a small community is about.
Mhm.
We even had people from Laverne in their waterworks call.
Yes, the wastewater. There was two gentlemen from the wastewater in Laverne that offered their services to Dustin.
So, I mean, everybody's offered to help out and stuff like that, and there is stuff to do. I mean, so I just appreciate everybody that comes out and they just threw it out there, I'll help you out, so.
Just hopefully we don't have a lot of snow, so.
We got Joe Streeter.
We
We got Joe Streeter.
we can handle that.
Yes.
We've had plenty of guys.
Dustin did tell me this morning if it snows, he would
He probably
He would
come
clear some.
some, yeah, just give him some time, like,
He said, I do have to get out of the house some, just to get it off
Yes.
my mind.
yes.
So.
Yeah.
The other thing is that he did start down there at the softball diamond, he did start, so, I mean, I was gonna talk to a guy, if he wanted to, he can just kinda like take that stuff down and just kinda get ready down there, and see if you know, I'm sure you'll be happy with it, so. The other thing is, yeah, with the concrete, it's Rocco too, so,
Mhm.
you know.
Sooner,
Talked
the
about
sooner
that.
it's ready, this,
Well, yeah, so if we got it ready and he feels up to it too, and he can go, because I believe he got numbers for Rocco.
Yes, he did.
For,
Yes.
for,
He did.
for hay construction, or
Mhm.
concrete, or whatever
Yeah.
you call it. I just call him Rocco.
so what do we all gotta do down there? Just rip the dugouts out?
Pretty much,
One's out already, and we
What?
just got moved the bleachers.
yep, might need to pay loader a little bit, might need to pay loader, I mean, I can do that too, and then he said on the one dugout that he took out, those posts that were in the ground,
They just fell
they
out.
weren't connected to nothing.
Yeah, they just-
So I always think about all the little kids that run up there, and I'm like, wow. So it was a good thing, so. But the other poles, I looked at them last night when I was down there with my daughter, they look like they're in there, so we might have to pull them out, so.
The little kids, you were probably one of them.
Oh, probably. Probably. Not anymore, I guarantee you would have fell. So, but yeah, so let's just, I'm gonna try to get it, we'll try to get it ready. I'll talk to a couple guys. I'm sure they'll help out. So,
Call me,
I already thought about you, Dennis.
It wouldn't take
I'm
long.
retired.
So, does anybody else got anything else to talk about? Joe?
Oh, that's one.
The website update.
We're in the process of it, and Lexi Moore and these guys and Mrs. Buzzwitz and Mrs. Worsmar are handling it. They're getting it.
It's gonna be gradual, not instant.
They're working on it, and they're getting it done. We've already seen grass improvements on it and stuff like that, so I'm happy with it. So. Well, anything else?
Is there a, on that note, is there a, like the Jasper website that you pointed out, that was kind of where, that they're taking the vision of that too?
Well, yeah, that's just one of the websites I looked at. I believe that most, the stuff is getting on there that what people have requested to get on there, and it's getting there. Takes time.
Okay. Thanks.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Adjourn.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
Dennis.
You didn't fall asleep back here, did you?
No, not like. Maybe next time I can bring a pillow.
I didn't catch your name, what's your name?
Nicole.
Nicole. Mine's Jill.
Hi, Nicole. 1 minute.